in Chinatown. They will share stories of hard work and family ties, review long-held traditions, and give you a taste of this unique community.
It's like kind of a Chinese lunch. It's only served in the morning. Some places in Chinatown they have carts and they would just roll around and then ask tables and customers if they want it. Others you have to like check it off on a list to order them and then they would bring it to you.
There's so much to choose from and they give you like really small dishes so you have more choices.
It can be savory, can be sweet, and there are many different textures.
Kanji would be my favorite thing stuff. It's just water and rice boiled together with salt.
One of my favorite is hagao, which is shrimp dumpling. And my other favorite is chicken feet. I like it a lot, and so do my children, but it takes an acquired taste.
I really like going for dim sum with my parents. This is the best way that we spend quality time with each other.
To me, food brings people together, and I believe this is not true just for Chinese, for many cultures. What does Chinese food tell about Chinese people is one thing is sharing. You know, we don't just order our own dish and eat our own dish. We actually share with each other, so you get to try different variety. By eating Chinese food, you have a sense of group.
Dim sum originated from Canton. Literally in Cantonese, it means touch the heart. So little bits of things that touch your heart, that beat your heart.
The first big wave of Chinese men came to America during the California gold rush in the 1850s. Most hoped to strike it rich and raise a family back in China. Some stayed and made their way to Chicago after 1870, once the railroad they helped build finally connected the Pacific coast to the Midwest. At first, the Chinese lived downtown, but by 1910, a new Chinatown was developing around the intersection of Sumac Road and Wentworth Avenue. Over time, Chinatown continued to grow as wives and children joined their husbands and fathers in Chicago.
My father, he immigrated over into the United States in 1929. My father came over at a very early age from Canton, China, and he worked in the laundries in the beginning, and then he went to night school to learn English. So he always wanted his 5 sons to be educated.
First, I didn't speak the language. Secondly, all these different surroundings makes me very, very lonely. When I came, I used to give diary, and I write to my sister. I said, "Don't come to this country because it's so difficult."
I was born in Chicago, and that's where my father's laundry was. It was called Sam Shin and Laundry. And everybody called him Sam, even though that wasn't really his name. But it was easier. And we lived in an apartment at the beginning until the landlords needed the space for a relative. And that's when we moved him back in the laundry.
So once I came to the United States, I was 18. I was all by myself. I never was on a plane before. My mom, she heard that it's very, very cold, so she sold me 7 coats. And there was a way that I could order coats in the luggage. So what happened at the end is that she took those 7 coats and put one inside each other. And by the time she got to the 7th layer, the whole thing just stand up by itself. So it was quite a challenge to bring that along. I carried that on the plane along with a typewriter other things. And the plane ride obviously was pretty scary. Also, I didn't have very much money in my pocket too, and I was thinking if I get stranded, I'd be really big trouble.